Hello and welcome to my channel today, Boo Snakes and More. Today we're going to be talking about giant reptiles. So please like this video and subscribe to the channel. And for more videos like this, watch my other Hash channel, A&A Snakes and Stuff. My youngest son's channel, Henny's Toys and Games. Or my oldest son's channel, Little Chris 10. Now let's dive into the video. Once driven to the city's edges, Bangkok's giant monitor lizards are now thriving in parks and canals, and becoming an unexpected part of the visitor experience. Shortly before dawn in one of Bangkok's largest inner-city green spaces, there is a stillness in the canals that surround Limpini Park. Barely a ripper disturbs its large pond, but as the day breaks, in the Thai capital the first scaly snouts emerge from the water's surface. These are Asian water monitors, the world's second largest lizard after the Komodo dragon. For travelers, Bangkok's monitor lizards are not an attraction in the traditional sense, but a reminder of how nature persists even in the world's most visited city. To encounter these ancient reptiles, a species which dates back millions of years, in Lumpini Park, a short walk from luxury hotels, shopping malls, and embassies, is to glimpse the city's ecological past. When this was an area of wetlands and waterways, rather than expressways and skyscrapers, watching the lizards pass beside joggers and picnickers is a unique travel experience, one that requires no ticket, no guide, and no calculated enclosure. Only an early morning walk through the city's green heart. While Impuni Park is the easiest place for visitors to spot them, Bangkok's water monitors are far from confined to a single green space. Once perched to the city's edges, the reptiles have quietly adapted to life in the megacity, patrolling many of the almost 1,700 canals that still thread through neighborhoods, from residential back streets to busy commercial zones. Several hundred water monitors are thought to live in and around Limpuni Park alone, drawing locals, tourists, and photographers into uneasy proximity with an animal that has long divided public opinion. Their population in Bangkok is much, much greater than you'd ever see in the wild, said Microcata, a retired associate at Thailand National Science Museum, speaking from his study in northern Thailand, surrounded by leaning towers of economic papers, including several of his own. He explained why, when it comes to food, they'll eat anything they can get a hold of, dead or alive. They're extreme gluttonous or generalist. Head to Lampini Park, he told me earlier, with a giddy grin. That's where you'll get to know them properly. One December morning before the city had fully awakened, I set off on the hunt, cutting through Bangkok's endless maze of streets. But inside Lampuni Park, an early sight of an ancient water monitor lizard offered the first clue about what life was like here before Bangkok's founding as a tiny trading outpost on the west bank of the Cairo Pereira River in the early 15th century. On the pond shore were molted leaves from giant rain trees, had settled hundreds of thick, overlapping roots protruding from the earth. I moved closer to the water's edge, careful not to trip over the tree's bulbous vines. Suddenly one of the roots moved, a swaggering brown, poke-marked towel, which had been perfectly camouflaged seconds ago, trailed behind a lizard nearly 2 meters 6.5 feet long, as its muscular legs propelled it forward into the water with a splash. Later that morning, behind a busy food stand, with the cook occupied by a quarry of hungry customers, 6 smaller lizards sank their claws into the muddy shore and poured themselves from the water to hurriedly crawl through a bag of discarded bones. Throughout the day with the city skyline behind him, I watched the reptiles as the park filled up. Unlike wildlife parks or zoos, Tony Park offers no quarries, feeding heights, or barriers between people and lizards. For visitors, that lack of orchestration can be disorienting and occasionally unnerving, but it is also what makes the experience distant. The lizards bask in the sun, unfazed by exercise classes. It seemed as if they were posing for tourist photos. Before getting bored and returning to the water, as I headed back along the canal path, I witnessed about a dozen feasting on bags of leftovers under the shade of a bridge. Elsewhere in the city, the coexistence is not always so calm. At the Golden Mount Fire Station, 5 kilometers, 3.1 miles from the park, the emergency dispatch line rang. It was one of 4 cars that came in that day requesting a stray monitor to be removed from somebody's home. On average, we get more calls about rescuing water monitor lizards and removing snakes than fires here, said F. Rugged Alley firefighter of 30 years, as she banished a huge protective glove he wears when handling them. They like the rain, so they venture out more in public during water weather. For generations, Bangkok's water monitors have struggled with reptilian problems. Coda believes the stigma was born long before Thailand's Indostruction. When most families lived in open shelters along waterways, monitor lizards would sniff out dead people before their friends and families found them and then likely feed on them until they were chased away. In Thai folklore, the animals were cast as dirty and unlucky in common name, and their common name, Hoa, evolved into one of the language's most offensive insults. As scientific research expanded, officials introduced a formal term, Tu Nigua Tu Tong, to avoid using the slur altogether. But it's important to separate the old and the new view of them, said Ice Rushkaminsky, who owns the popular vegetarian restaurant Gufu in Bangkok's Chinatown. In old times, people said they were unlucky, but now their symbolism is changing. Some younger people think they're cute and lucky. I know lots of people who will drop everything to buy a lottery ticket if the big water monitor accidentally finds its way inside their home. Social media is definitely on the lizard side. TikTok and Instagram are awash with clips of the reptiles, clattering through shopping centers and tripping up runners. Brave tourists aren't afraid to get up close and personal for selfies when they see one basking next to the canal. It was a bit of a shock to stumble on a very large sunbathing lizard here, said British tourist Philip Mountford shortly after taking a photo of one in Lampooney Park. I would never have expected to find such a prehistoric looking creature living so comfortably in an urban environment like Bangkok. No form of census exists, but estimates suggest thousands of water monitors now live across Bangkok. The Thai government has made attempts to reduce their numbers, including a large-scale removal from Lampooney Park in 2016. Yet today, the reptiles are more visible than ever. Part of that is changing attitudes, a wave of social media engagement driven by younger Thais and international tourists has turned the lizards into unlikely urban icons. In response to increasing inquiries about where to spot them, park authorities even installed a giant water monitor statue in the center of Lampoon Park last year. Some, including Kuda, think embracing the lizards would be a welcome change to years of stigma. Why not promote them for tourism? A lot of people find them fascinating, he said. Instead of pushing them out of Bangkok, make them a real part of the city's future. Thank you for watching this video and peace out to the next one.